Explorers, how are you guys doing? I have here for you what I'm going to be expecting from you with the Internal Explorers Personalized Owner's Manual, which is your semester project, and you will be turning this in at the end of the semester, or at least showing me what you've put together for yourself. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what this is. For my coaching clients that I had years ago, I came up with this idea of actually having something that they can go to and collect all of the different things that are important to them. And I was wondering, well, we have an owner's manual for your computer, you have your owner's manual for your car, for your microwave, for everything, but we don't really have one for ourselves. So this owner's manual is really about you. It's not about me, it's not about anybody else, it's about you. This is the place where you can put things that are important to you, and I'm going to go through what exactly I'm expecting within each of those, or at least how you separate it. So if you take a look at the slide, the way I describe it is that it's a biopsychosocial spiritual approach to helping you reconnect with the real you. You will internally explore the core of who you are, your purpose in life, your mind and spirit, and through this you'll be able to find some peace and balance. By creating the personalized owner's manual, you will give yourself a positive default position to help you reset when life gets unbalanced or crazy. There's so many different things that go on in our lives. I wanted to have a place where you could go to and remind yourself of the things that are important. And as I go through this, you'll see what I mean. So let's go to the next slide. And this is a quote that a student of mine a number of years back who did the owner's manual gave to me and said I could use it, and it really kind of fits perfectly. She was saying how it really it helped her out, and you can read it for yourself, but the important thing is she had kids, and her kids, she had them actually make their own personal owner's manual. So it really works for, it doesn't really what kind or how many what age that you are. It helped her, she said, and it helped her kids to kind of refocus on really what's important to them. And this is, again, about you and you alone. So the next one is a checklist. For the checklist is what I'm going to be expecting for you. So what you have on the first cover is, it should be something that is most important to you. The things that people are going to see that you're going to see first. Okay, so it could be words, items, things like this. Let me show you an example. This is my new one. I had an older one, and I'll show you a slide later, where I have my kids on here and my wife, and then some things that are important to me. There's a slide later on that kind of shows this more specifically. And then my wife has hers that she has and that she's done. I don't know how well you can see that right now, but so these are the things that are important to her. So these are, it's basically the 3-ring binder. And you'll have different sections within those 3-ring binders. But the first page should be everything that is about you that is important to you. So here's a supply list that I put together that may help you to put everything into place. The 3-ring binder, as you can see, has the plastic and also has a cardstock. So the cardstock is a harder one. You put that in there. You can put your pictures on there, take them out, switch them around, whatever you want to do. But this helps out to keep it in place. Has one in the back as well. Okay, so the front should be who you are. The back is going to be your vision board. Well, we don't have this on here right now because we have our own vision board in our bedroom, and it's something I'm going to talk a little bit about as we go through. So we have a 3-ring binder, clear insert front and back, and then covers on the inside. So with my wife's, and hers is really cool. So she's type A personality, I'm type B. So it works out really well. And so I want you to be able to get some partitions. 8 usually works out real well. And then I like having the ones that have pockets. But the 3-ring binder should have a pocket so you can put other material here for yourself. Okay. Clear inserts for each of them. So here's a clear insert with cardstock for each of the sections. There's 8 sections that I have identified. And so you can put some information here, like this one right here is her journey. And here's her spirit. So you open that up, and here's all about her spirit and the things that remind her on what's important and what to focus on. Okay, and then here's another one, which is actually her mind. In her mind, this picture right here is just something that we put together that really helped her to look at some things that are beautiful, things that kind of help to calm the mind, help you to focus on things that, for her, I mean, these are beautiful flowers, and she's got a great green thumb, and so it's something that's important to her, of touching nature. Okay, and then some rule paper. So you want to put some rule paper in between, and then you can take notes on there and write things out. Okay, so let's go through the other part. So if you have any questions, please let me know. This is going to go on through the semester, so you can start working on it now, at least collecting the information. Now, this is just a suggestion, and this is the way that we put it together. If you have other better ways of doing it, excellent. But I would like you to have at least those 8 different areas to be able to focus on, so we can talk about that in class. So here's an example. The one in the middle is my old one, the first one that I started. And there are my kids right there. As you can see, they're older than the other one. And I put Brett Favre on there. So unfortunately, I'm filming this now on Sunday, and Packers just lost. Bummer. But the reason why I put Brett Favre on there for myself is that whenever he played football, he played like a kid. And it reminded me to play life like a kid. Enjoy it. Be out there. Be free. And, come up with different ways of getting the play done. So he had a joy within him. So his picture there is something for me, or his card is something to remind me to take life and enjoy it and have fun. Okay? So those are the type of things that I want you to be able to put on your first cover, or the cover of your owner's manual. So let's go to the back cover. As I said before, you decorate the front cover with the items. Is the first thing that you see. The back cover is going to be your short-term, long-term goals. If you're planning on graduating, put a picture of yourself on there with cap and gown, or put someone throwing caps and gowns up, something that you want to look forward to. Because if we can't imagine it or vision it, then it's hard for it to come true. So this is a place for you to start putting those in there. If you want a nice car, I mean, hey, whatever tickles you, something, whatever you want. If you want to travel, I don't know how traveling is now with everything going on, but if you want to travel, if you want to do certain things, you have to envision it in order for it to really start coming into play. And that's what a vision board is all about, and that's what the back of your owner's manual is. So here's some examples I found online that you can do with the vision board, and create it any way that you want to. You can print something out if you wanted. You can do something on PowerPoint, whatever tickles you. But do it that way. Okay. So now we'll go to. Okay. Now we'll go to the back cover. Oh, we just did that. Okay. So let's go over to the next part, which is how everything should be separated. As I said, there's 8 different sections, and as you can see with my wife, she had hers right over here. And the first one is my purpose in life and my philosophy of life. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and this is going to be your homework for this week, is to answer this question. I'm going to have a discussion board on there too, on Blackboard. But what is your purpose in life? Why are you here? Okay, why are you here? And what's your philosophy of life? Philosophy of life is basically, what do you think life is all about? Is life about struggle? Is it about learning all that you can? Is it about partying all the time? Things like that. For me, my purpose in life is that I am a teacher, both a teacher and a student of life. I always have been. I've always been curious about things. I've always tried to figure out, why do I do the things that I do? Why do they do the things they do? Why is life the way that it works? I mean, what's going on here? And I was always interested in learning. I always want to learn. Okay. My philosophy of life ties into that by it being that I see the world and everything with opportunities to learn something about yourself. Okay. So it's a classroom. I see life as a classroom. So therefore I approach life in that way. You'll see people who approach life as victims. And I totally disagree with that. that every situation that you go through, be it good, be it bad, is opportunity. Okay, opportunity to express the best part of who you are, and we'll talk about that in relationships later on. So, answer the question: what is your purpose in life? Okay, ask yourself that question. Most people are like, I don't know, never really thought about that before, because you normally don't. That's why this class is different than a lot of other classes. It's going to make you think thoughts you have never really thought you would think, I think. Yep. Okay, so, and what is your philosophy of life? So that's going to be your homework. Look for the discussion board, and then we'll take it from there. Then there's going to be a section on your spirit. Okay. And this is another question that I'm going to ask you to, and I want you to, I don't know if I want to do it first. I think I may do it first. I'm going to do it tonight, along with what is your purpose in life? Are you a spiritual being having a human experience, or are you a human being having or searching for a spiritual experience? Let me say that again. Do you see yourself as a spiritual being having a human experience, or are you a human being searching for spiritual experiences? Okay, there's a difference between the two. I'm going to do a separate video that talks about that. Okay, so I want you to think about that too. Are you a spiritual being having a human experience, or are you a human being searching for spiritual experience? Okay, that's going to make a difference on how you approach life. So I'll do another video right after this for that, and try to get that out for tomorrow. And the next part is your mind. Okay, well, let's go back to the spirit, your soul. This area, section of it, is something for you to, if you want to have a prayer list. I mean, if that's what tickles you, go for it. This is a place where you put what you're thankful for, what your blessings are. So I think it's extremely important for us to remember that we are blessed individually, regardless of what situation that you see yourself in or what you're going through. Because I know a lot of people go through a lot of difficult, situations. But if you start to look at what you're thankful for, all those other things tend to dissipate. All those other things tend to fall away. But you start to focus and be, they talk about gratitude journaling. And you can use the journal that we are starting here on Blackboard as a gratitude journal. So this could be the place to be grateful and to remind yourself how grateful and thankful that you are for. I mean, able to see. If you can see, excellent. Other people can't. So be grateful for that. Being able to walk. Things like that. Okay, so this is an area that's my spirit or soul, that you're going to put things that are going to remind you to be thankful and to connect with your spirit. So the next part is going to be number 3, is my mind. And your mind is going to be where we're going to talk a lot about thinking. Okay, we're going to be talking about how thoughts are basically the things that create your reality a lot of the time. And really starting to question your thoughts too. So your mind is another area, and then your body. And your body is, again, trying to be aware that you do have a body, but you are not your body. Okay, this is important for you to remember. You are not your body, nor are you your mind. Okay, so my philosophy and the way I'm coming across and teaching you with this process here of the internal explorer is that someone who sees themselves as a spiritual being having a human experience is more of an internal explorer than those who see themselves as a human being searching for spiritual experiences. So I see myself as a spiritual being having human experiences. Okay, so I internally explore and step back and say, wow, Steve, that was interesting. Okay, and we'll talk about that again, the observer situation. I don't want to get ahead of myself. And then next, number 5, is your victories. So here is an interesting thing where I've noticed when I was working with my life coaching clients, a lot of them tended to, and I think we all do, tend to focus on one thing that went wrong in that day, and it screwed up the whole day. It's just like, oh, when the hell did that happen? Everything's going to go downhill, especially if you wake up in the morning on the wrong side of the bed. But what I want you to think about is the little victories, the little things that you got a good grade. Boom, put that in there. You got a letter from one of your professors or something good happened, write it in there. Because we tend to forget those little things that are good, and then we make everything terrible. I have later on in the cover and have you put in there is kind of a scoring system to give you a score for the week. In other words, if the first day, say Monday, say tomorrow you guys have a bad day. Oh, crap. Okay, then you have the next day. It's a good day. All right, so out of the 7 days, if you had 4 or 5 days that are good, it'll make it a good day. Typically what people do is they'll make it a bad day. But if you had 4 out of 5 and you can write it down, you had a good day. So therefore you had a good week. If you had 3 out of 4 weeks out of a month, that was a good month. So what it's doing is shifting your mind into the positive as opposed to the negative. It's shifting your mind and retraining you to start looking at the things that are good in your life, that are positive in your life, that are blessings in your life, and that not everything, just because you had a bad day at work doesn't mean that the whole freaking week is done and gone to hell. Okay, so that type of thing. Okay, so the number 6 is your favorite life quotes. One of mine that I always go with, and I guess I came up with it because I can't find it anywhere else, but I used it in my Energy Vampires book years ago, is that no one can die your death, so don't let them live your life. Say again, no one can die your death, so don't let them live your life. That has been like a mantra to myself, is whenever you start to let somebody else make decisions for you, or you give them the power over your emotions, which we're going to talk about a little bit more later too, then you give them power and you're letting them live for you. You know, so no, I did another video too that I'm going to show you later on years ago that tie that in. So that's one of my favorite quotes. So this is a place for you to find quotes. If you love quotes, put them there. If you need a quote to remind you of something to be positive about, you can go back to that section. Okay. Number 7 is the ahas. We all have ahas. These are the things where the ding, the light bulb goes on. Oh, good Lord, now I understand what they're talking about. Okay. That's when now everything starts to connect. And then you realize, oh, okay, that makes more sense now. So these are the things in life where like you have the ahas of understanding that things make sense. Okay, these are ahas for yourself. So this is the place where you want to put those ahas. And those of you who have kids, and those who later on will have kids, but if you have kids, this is a way of passing on to your kids your wisdom, the things that you've learned through life. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have a little bit of hopefully a discussion. I'm still trying to figure this out because normally I do this face to face, so I'm able to bring it up as we go along. But what are the things that you would tell your younger self? Okay, what you hopefully are wiser now, older you are, especially the older students. But what would you tell your younger self from what you've learned now, the wisdoms that you've learned, and share it with them? So this is the area where you could put that information. And again, those of you who have kids, this is a good way of sharing with them who you are and the things that are important to you and pass it down to them. So again, it's a place where you can put everything in and keep it consolidated. The last part is a journal. Now, for yourselves in the owner's manual, you can have some extra sheet of papers and do your own journal. For online with Blackboard, we have the journal that once you do some entries, and then you and I can communicate. And so this is something that the owner's manual isn't stagnant. It's going to change. It's going to adjust. It's going to, as you learn, as you grow, it's going to grow with you, hopefully. But it's also a tool for you to go back and figure out, well, you know what, I used to think that way. I don't need to think that way anymore because I've learned more than I did before. And then you just change it around. So hopefully it'll get you to start thinking in a different way, start seeing yourself in a different way, and start realizing that every one of you do have a purpose in life. It's my strong belief, and this is my belief, and this, if you want to believe it, cool, not cool, that everybody has a contract with God. It's totally up to you whether you want to find it or not. Your spirit is going to be the thing that you're going to be learning a lot from or listening to, hopefully. And that's where I'm going to talk about spiritual being having a human experience. So anyway, for now, what I want you to do is I want you to start gathering that information, but more importantly, start asking yourself or answering the question, what is your purpose in life? Why are you here? And what's your philosophy of life? Let's see, I think that's really about it that I can think of. I think that's it. Yep. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Then we can take it from there and look for the Blackboard, the announcement that I have a discussion board on there for your philosophy of life or your purpose in life. And then tomorrow I should put up or be able to put up, are you a spiritual being having a human experience or a human being searching for, kind of confusing, a human being searching for a spiritual experience. Okay? All right. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will talk to you later. Ciao.